Jean, thank you very much. I like those red socks. Just stand out, you know. How do you make your brand stand out in a competitive market like our country?
Thank you. Thank you. I'm very happy to be here. And it's the billion-dollar questions, but I think it's through consistency and experience. India, and it was said before, is not a market where you apply only global recipes. You have to be locally relevant. That's what we try to do with our brands, which are, for most of them, produced here in India for Indians. And we try to be very accurate in the experience we provide to the consumers.
Along with it being competitive, it's also very diverse. You know, they may want to drink the same thing, but they drink it differently or for different occasions, and also culturally, socially, very diverse. So there's certain things which are similar, certain things which are diverse. So how easy or difficult is it then?
No, this is very true, and that's something that we have learned throughout the years. We've been in this country more than 3 decades now, and I think my teams have a lot of experience, and the local teams, we have more than 30 local offices across the country, and it's extremely important that we understand the differences of India. Globally, if I take an example, it's mostly a whiskey market, but you go to the south, brandy is also equally important, and we need to have a play, and we just launched a brand which is Exclamation, which caters this space as well, because you need to be relevant for the local population in the different states.
But when you know advertising alcohol is banned, you know, the country has particular rules with certain brands in certain categories. How does then it become, is it easier to market? Is it tougher? How do you send the messaging across?
It's a topic, I mean, alcohol is not neutral. Alcohol, and I believe there is a good use of alcohol, responsible drinking that we promote, and I think it can be part of a healthy lifestyle if you consume responsibly. But it's a regulated industry because there is a possible misuse of alcohol. We respect that, and we want our industry to be properly regulated so that we avoid this misuse. So the advertising restriction are part of that. But the media that you say, the see and the above the line, as we call it in many industries, is not the only way to reach consumer. We have products which provide experiences, so you have multiple touch points in the retail stores, in the bars where we can really provide the experience, or in festivals which are growing dramatically in India. Magnetic Field or the Sunburns of the world are places where we can provide a great experience to our consumers, and they know our brands better after these experiences.
Who's consuming more? Because I'm told youth data actually says youth globally, or Gen Z globally, is moving away, is drinking lesser. But that doesn't seem to be the case in India. So is that a reason why Pernod Ricard is actually trying to focus a little more here?
Well, first, this Gen Z consuming less, that's debatable, and you may see some people consuming less, but it's fine. We have always been here with a strategy of premiumization. And if you think about it, it means we try to have our consumers drink less, but drink better. So we are fine with it. It's part of our strategy. When you look at India in particular, and that's my responsibility today, there is a totally different dynamic. And we have 2 major tailwinds in this country. One is obviously the demographic dividend. India is a young country, and we have approximately 20 to 25 million new legal drinking age joining the cohort of potential drinkers in this country. Some of them choose not to drink, and it's perfectly okay. It's their choice. But the one who choose to drink, we want to be there to provide them with quality brand and the right experience. So that's this demographic dividend, first big tailwind. And then obviously the economic development of India. We play in the premium segment of spirits, and with the rise of the income of Indian, average income, but also the discretionary, the disposable income, which is disproportionately growing, we are seeing more and more people interested in our categories, where we provide not only a good liquid, but also a great experience, and being part of the lifestyle of our consumer is really what we aim for.
When you were told 3 years ago, Jean, you got to go to India and you got to handle the business there, what did you think about that responsibility? And 3 years later, what do you think about Bharat and its people?
Well, I must admit, I didn't know India very much when I was asked to come here, and I'm very happy that I said yes, because it's a fantastic experience. I knew the position was great, the opportunities were there. What I didn't realize before, and that I'm learning every day about, is the diversities of these opportunities and the richness of India. So as I said, we have 30 commercial offices, we have 19 plants across the country, because we need to produce in various states. And I constantly travel in the country. I was in Bangalore yesterday, I was in Vizag the day before, just to get the pulse of India and understand how we can be relevant in each of the states, what are the preferences of the consumers, how we can take a global brand and make it relevant in one particular state, how we can take our giant brands like Royal Stag or Blender's Pride and adapt sometimes the liquid, sometimes the variant that we bring to the local taste, and making sure that it is again relevant there.
He's a master at his craft, isn't it? How beautifully in 2 answers he's plucked so many of his brands. Yeah, Jean, I have to credit you there. But, this FTA that's going to be signed, Bharat is signing a lot of trade deals. And one of the conditions was to reduce the entry barriers for foreign spirits. So be it UK, be it the FTA or the mother of all deals with the European Union, how's that going to impact your business, your approach to Bharat? And does that mean that you're going to be making less in our country and bringing more from the outside?
So it's very positive. And as an international businessman, I'm always supportive of free trade agreement. And I think it's really bring opportunities both ways. This UK FTA and the EU FTA that will come later, the text was just published yesterday, are great opportunities, of course, for the UK or for European Union to trade with India, but also the other way around. And we do produce in India and sell in India 97% of our volume, but we also export these brands. So there will be these opportunities. At the end of the day, we're talking about different opportunities at different price levels. So we should not see the imported brands as competition to the local brand. It's actually different segments that are catered. And even if the small friction of competition happen at some point, having competitors is great because it pushes you to be better. I think the fantastic rise of Indian single malt that we see today, probably some of it is inspired and pushed by the great Scottish single malt that used to exist, but also the example that Japan has been doing, or Taiwan with their brands, and Indian are jumping in with their own touch. We have one brand, I will name it also, Longitude 77 in that space, and this is really something that benefits both ways. And Indian bringing their local touch to this segment is an addition to the enjoyment for consumers.
How do you see tier 2, tier 3 markets in our country approach premium drinking, premium alcohol?
It's extremely important for us. As I said, we've been 30 years in the country. We have some of the biggest whiskey brands in particular in this country. So we cannot rely only on Metro. Metro are important for us, but it's not enough. So we do cater to the entire country, and you see disproportionate growth there. So this is really, really a strategy that we have, and we bring our product, we innovate with the local brands to cater the needs of these consumers, which are for now at a stage of their consumption journey, which is still in local brand only, may go to imported brand one day, or may not, because we have fantastic offers with local brand as well.
Which of your brands, which are, you said 97% of your volumes are manufactured in our country. Which of your brands do you see from Bharat to the world? Because Pernod Ricard brings a lot of international brands in its stable into the country. So which are the brands which you see are going to go from Pernod Ricard to the world from here?
But the two giant brands that we have, Rostag and Blenders Pride, they are available in more than 65 countries in the world. So we do have this already. Our local Indian single malt, Longitude 77, is already available in Dubai. We are discussing to make it available in the US. There is all of our local brands which have the possibility to reach through our international networks of affiliates at Pernod Ricard or with other partners if necessary. And we cater both the Indian communities in the countries abroad or local consumers who do recognize the strengths and the fantastic quality of Indian brands.
Let me also ask you, a lot of brands which are water heavy, agricultural produce heavy, power heavy, today have to also show a certain level of green growth, sustainability, moving towards net zero, reducing your carbon footprint. How has Pernod Ricard been able to perform in this metric?
So this is extremely important for us. For two reasons. We are a global group. We have global commitments, which we want to respect. We know it's the only way to be sustainable for the future. Pernod Ricard is a group that is a family-owned company originally. Our founder, Paul Ricard, was very advanced. We still have Oceanographic Institute in a small island in the south of France, Les Ambiers, and in the 60s when he established that was kind of something nobody was doing. So very much in advance. We have this sustainable development goal, which are very measurable, and we must apply them in India because India represents 1/3 of the volume of the group. You were talking about water. It's very important. We do replenish more than 2.5 times the water that we use into nature through the complex system of water ponds that then are going back into the circulation of water. We look very much at our carbon footprint. So we were the first in the country to remove we call it monocarton, so the boxes around the bottles.
Yes.
That's an extremely important move that actually we're very proud that we didn't impact only with our action. Competitors followed, and so it removed even more of this monocarton, which honestly are not that useful on the brand. That's another example. And we have multiple examples. Many of the local brands do jump into the hipster format with plastic. We are going to go there, but we have decided to do it when we have a solution to do it with 30% recycled PET, and when we know that the impact on the environment will be lower than a glass bottle. So all these topics are extremely important for us.
So you are ticking all the boxes consciously, not because you have to do it, but because you want to do it?
Because it's the only way to be sustainable for the future. A world without water will be a world where there is no more business to do. So it's extremely important that we protect and we take this responsibility. I think being as I was saying, in an industry where we need to acknowledge the responsibility of responsible consumption, making sure that we develop a sustainable business for the generation that come after has always been embedded into our way of thinking and way of doing business.
Well, as a news network, we've got to walk the tightrope between revenue and ratings. So you've got to have the audience watching you while you don't compromise that, but you've got to also, because we are a cost center, you've got to look at revenue. For you, it is volume and value. So how do you find the balance, or do you tilt towards volume more than value?
No, it's more value than volume. As I said, premiumization, which has been a strategy that we have applied worldwide and in India for many years, means we really want to push consumer to drink better. That's our goal, and we try to see consumer trading up, sometimes from non-operating segments to our categories. And when they are within our operating segment, how we can give them better experiences with even more premium products. So value is more important, and we really look at a way to deliver value to the consumer for a great experience. People, of course, they want a great liquid when they drink a spirits, but they want the lifestyle and the experience that go with it. And we really pay attention to deliver all of it.
All right, less than 5 minutes on the chat, so I'm going to move away from the corporate talk to something personal from you and to understand for all of us. There are a lot of future leaders sitting here. You're CEO of one of the largest, companies in this segment in our country, and also the world over. You are part of the global leadership in Pernod Ricard. What are the leadership lessons that you've learned which you can share with us, especially when you operate in different markets? And you come from one market, you've got a learning there. You come to another market and the variables change, don't they? Regulations change, the atmosphere in which you would work, the business environment change, the people, consumers change. So how does your leadership style change? Or how do you adapt?
Well, it's super important to be agile and adaptive. And this is something I have learned hopefully early enough in my career. I've been posted in different countries. And when you arrive, even as the CEO in a new country, there is a few elements that you can drive and you can bring your style. But there is a lot of adaptation, understanding of the culture of the country. And I think when you come to India, it's the next level because you don't have to understand one culture, but several cultures, which makes it even more interesting. So you were asking what advice I can give. It's be bold and be agile. Adapt yourself. And you will always go into a job with a job description that tells you what to do. But look at what you can do more outside of this job description, how you can contribute to your organization even more than what is on paper. If you do that, you will be noticed and you will have more opportunities. And my experience working with Indian is the workforce is extremely well educated, so you have people that are really able to do that. We, as a group, source talent from India to send them abroad. And sometimes they come back to contribute again to the Indian business. But really, we see India as a manufactory for talents that is really helpful for the entire group.
True. But do you think the Indians or Bharatiya are far more welcoming of the French than the French are welcoming of the Indians back there? Because you don't speak French, I don't talk to you. We don't do that. You speak English, we speak English.
Well, I don't speak Hindi, but I'm very welcome here, so that's good. No, it's a mindset. Yes, Indians are very welcoming, and I have had a fantastic experience in this country on the almost 3 years I've spent here so far. And I would say most of the French people would be similar. You might experience difficulties with the language because us French are not always good with English, but the intention is there. And I find a lot of similarities in the mindset, in the willingness to be outgoing, to share stories, and the natural exchange is easy, the connection is easy to get.
How do you tide over cultural differences and also this entire, if for want of a better word, ego block? Who's he to tell me? Why do I have him to come and tell me what I should do? It happens to every leader. And on the other hand, you as a leader also have to show a certain level of humility to say, listen, I need to learn from them because they work this market more than I have. So how do you figure that out? And how much time does that take? 6 months, 1 year, 6 weeks, or it varies?
Forever. It's no, but that's probably the easiest question of all. I come here, I know nothing about the Indian market, and I have a lot to learn. And I have excellent teams who know the market and who teach me. My role is to stitch the things together, to push them to do even better. But I'm not here to teach anybody about the Indian markets. I have people who know much better than me. And I learn from them, I try to understand, and again, I push them to work better together, I push them to exceed the expectation, but I'm not the one who will teach anybody about India.
So what are you going to be doing? And what do you learn?
Well, So far, I've learned so much about how to do business differently in India. The brand we just launched recently, which is Exclamation, covering 5 categories of spirits with one brand. When I was first presented this project, I said, no way, we don't do that in our industry. And there is no good example abroad of a successful brand covering different spirits category. In India, it's possible. An umbrella brand works in our industry. And this is something that my team has taught, showing me examples, being very convincing about it. And then we launched it.
Yeah, because you can put an exclamation after anything, right? And change the
It's true. It's true that India is an exciting country.
All right, on that note, Jean, lovely speaking with you. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for being such a wonderful partner and
Thank you,
invaluable one with us here at the Rising Bharat Summit 2026.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.